and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. Hello to those watching live on Twitch, and if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to join us live for this show every Thursday at 5 p.m. EST for the live show. Today, we are playing Once Upon a Time, which is the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition viewer game. So before we get started, let's go around our cast and crew, figure out who we are and who we're playing today. We will start today, because I like to mix it up a bit, not follow the same script. We'll start with our guest this week. So first up, we have Quantum Witcher.
Greetings there, I am Sarp. You can find me on the interwebs as Quantum Witcher. And today I will be playing Valdion, the Genasi wizard, who is very much a scholar like most wizards, but unlike most, his interest lies in the literary arts and wordsmithing. So hopefully you will get to hear some of his beautiful poetry, other than the battle marches, as it always happens with wizards. But yeah, he's just much more interested in sitting down and reading and singing poetry than anything else. And he hopes he will have a good, peaceful time with his companions, allies in this journey. But other than that, that's it. Thank you guys for having me today.
Oh, you're very welcome. I can't wait to meet Valdion, who sounds like a very fun character. And next up, we have Al Baxon. Did I say that right? I hope I said that right.
Actually, it looks like I'm put in the wrong spot. I'm actually the other Tim up in the other corner.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. My name is Tim, but today I'm going to be playing Raka, who is a Tabaxi ranger. He has beautiful gray fur and long, elegant whiskers. He's willing to help with anything in the party that is possibly needed, but do not ask him to get wet.
I like it.
No swimming is allowed.
I mean, I hope Valdion does not interfere with that as a water genasi who loves water. So, yeah, let's hope for that.
Uh-oh. So, next up we have our wonderful recurring cast. We have NPC Bree.
Hey, it's NPC Bree, and I'm playing Malene, the tiefling warlock, who can't read, has a spider that lives in her hair, has the world's fanciest shoes, some really cheap goblin earrings, and thousands of gold worth of jewelry. She doesn't care about getting wet, or getting caught on fire, or having all of her paychecks stolen, because she can't read them, so what does it matter? So, she always gets fed, and she always has a place to sleep, so what does it matter?
That's it. I mean, she literally lives under her desk. What else does she need? She doesn't need money.
Right. I mean, we don't need money. Me and Sooty have very long talks in the bullpen while everyone's away.
And we have Cleric of Cod.
Hello, Susie. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's great to be back. Missed last week. Welcome to our players. I am Kat at Cleric of Cord. I play Due Diligence, the Warforged wizard who does mind getting wet because he tends to rust. And that whole Tin Man thing is just not what it's cracked up to be. Which means he's very careful about his plumbing. So I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be fun. We have new people. Yay!
All right. And I believe our other two players will be joining us shortly. They're just being held up a little bit. But we have some very important things to do before we can actually get to playing. So before we begin playing... Oh, no, wait. I didn't introduce myself. Hi, I'm Susie. I'm the Dungeon Master. Hey, there we go. Before we begin playing tonight, I'll remind you folks that we are sponsored by Fantasy Grounds, which is our virtual tabletop of choice. All of the dice rolls you see today are powered using Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get all of your miniatures from Wayland Games. Go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself a huge range of D&D, Warhammer, and 40k minis for 20% off. This week, check out our sponsor, Tabletop Loot, who sell incredible dice. When we hit 20 retweets, we give away a set of dice to you in chat right here. So make sure to retweet this game's tweet to win some dice. You can also support the show by retweeting this tweet, which should show up in chat in just a moment, hopefully. And finally, I'll remind you folks how you can interact with our game tonight. You can donate to affect our game by giving players natural ones, natural 20s, wild magic surges, and this month's special, the Table of Pets, which should be a link at some point in chat too. Also, if there is a moment that you love during the show tonight, please do clip it on Twitch. We'll be using these in our highlight reels and on Twitter, and it's just really fun to show people, get them into the games, maybe bring them onto the channel and be like, yo, look at this stuff, it's fun. So without much further ado, we'll begin. The last time we met, or were with our wonderful detectives of the TPD, Captain Colt had arrived with a beautiful gift from his husband, a brand new shiny coffee maker from Midas Corp. It was a huge golden monstrosity of a thing. And there was a certain party member who felt a little bit replaced, a little bit betrayed, a little bit upset. So naturally, the captain asked them to help him set up the coffee machine. After returning back to his table to do the paperwork, Dew sat there, mourning his replacement, looking over his paperwork as Kieran sharpened his many weapons behind him. There was a cry, a choked scream as they burst into the office and saw that Captain Colt was being strangled by his brand new coffee machine. It appears as if the machine had gained some sort of murderous sentience and was trying to kill its centaur overlord. After rescuing the captain, you guys headed out to one of the stores of Midas Corp to find out what the heck happened. To see what appeared to be some sort of robot uprising happening in the streets. People were being slaughtered. Traffic lights were blinking all over the place. Technology was going haywire. There was a fight involving a barbarian making friends with a murder bot. One murder bot giving Kieran a golden shower, and another robot getting pulled to pieces. There was a chase in which a suspicious bald man wearing spectacles and a black turtleneck robe was being chased out the back of the store and apprehended by an incredibly intimidating Aarakocra. It is revealed that this was Jeeves Stobbs, the man who developed and was the CEO of Midas Corp. He was dragged into the street and interrogated in a very creepy manner as a giant golden robot, Goldtron, appeared to free him from his captivity. A fight ensued whereupon the friendly murder bot was trying to hack its big golden brother, and the barbarian was trying to befriend the big gold robot. Fighting happened, a lot of fighting happened. Grease was cast, the robot fell. A lot of terrible things happened before friendly murder bot Rob decided he was going to sacrifice himself in a noble manner as he activated his self and Goldtron's self-destruct codes and flew towards them. There was a giant explosion, and as gold rained down from the sky, that's where we left our detectives. This week, you find yourselves once again in the bullpen. The stable, as it is called. Valdian and Raka, you are new recruits brought to the detectives department of the TPD. As it has been noted, there's been a disturbingly high turnover of employees within the department, the detective department. Not in a sense that they're dying, just that they just can't seem to hold a position for more than a week at a time, it appears, beyond the core few detectives. So, you folks are sat in the stable, which is what we call the bullpen in the detectives because the captain is a centaur. And it is quiet. Captain Colt's office is empty and dark. He has not been in today. In fact, he wasn't in yesterday either. But you folks kind of took that as an opportunity to just kind of chill out a bit and not catch up on paperwork and not go out into the streets and apprehend baristas. But his absence is notable.
A lot less dung to clean up.
Oh, blimey. Robot uprising in my pop. Oh, I know playwrights that will make a killing out of such a story. I should note it all down. Please do go on telling me that story more.
Melina's sitting in the bullpen chair, but like upside down. Like her legs are where the head should be, and her head is just dangling off the edge. And she's kicking her like little heels just back and forth, just as they click at each other as she goes. She's, this is boring though. I'm bored.
As you are sitting upside down on your chair, Maylene, you feel from within your shirt little tentacles just and make its way up to your face, and you are being given little octopus smooches. And Valdian Raka, you see as this tiny little baby octopus is just sat on Maylene's cheek and kind of just petting her with its tentacles.
Waldian is just watching with a little smile on his face, just wondrous. Just another wonder of nature for him.
Of 8-legged freaks. Horus will come peek over and they'll give each other little high fives. Spiritual spider like goes back in the hair while the tentacle chills. Melina's gonna collect 8-legged things now.
I do have to say that is most disconcerting.
You just had something burst out of your chest and hug your face. This generally doesn't end well. And there's electricity sparking on the tips of one of his clawed hand things as he's kind of reaching out for Malene and the face hugger.
Malene's like, no, stop.
I saw it. I saw it on a play. A creature. It burst out of a person's chest and then it latched onto their face and it killed them.
Oh, that's an entirely different creature, my friend. You need not worry. These octopi, they're peaceful creatures of the sea. They do not much until they skirt ink and dirty.
But it's not in the
everywhere.
sea.
Well, what had happened was
I know it.
is like 3 days ago. I like wanted to take a bath, but I wanted to have a nice bath. So I thought the biggest bath ever would be in the ocean. So I went to the beach to take the biggest bath ever. And then while I was taking a very big bath, I found a very small creature. And I was like, you're too small for this bathtub. So I brought it with me. This is Gretchen. I'm Gretchen and Horace. These are my friends.
Oh, okay. So it's not gonna lay eggs.
No, but that would be so cool. Wait, can they lay eggs? Smart man.
Oh, they definitely can.
Babies having babies.
I am not sure if they truly need to be within water to lay eggs, but there, I know they always do. That's what they really like to do, but
it did
I
not
guess we
end
can
well
always
for.
experiment.
Well, I suppose the robot survived the play, so okay.
Aren't you concerned your slippery little friends are going to dry out and turn into parchment?
I wouldn't call all of my friends slippery. I know Sooty's a little slippery, but she's been really fine so far.
Vimbar's
I don't think
very
she's turning
slippery.
a parchment. He is very slippery.
You hear a tiny little as the little octopus makes its way off Maylene's face up a desk and is just kind of chilling in a bowl of water that she has set up on top of its desk for it. And it's just kind of sat there with one tentacle over the edge. It's like, sit.
World's tiniest cigar, just wrapped around one.
He is. It's good title.
Just because Waldian is enjoying the scene so much, he will cast his illusion magic and just give color to the water so that it's a colorful dance with the octopus in it, and it becomes a majestic sight.
It looks amazing, and the octopus is loving it. Gretchen is having such a good time. So, this would be a fantastic opportunity to get the new recruits up to date on the rules.
Oh, yes, pamphlets. Yes, rules. Dot matrix printer sounds coming from inside of him as reams of paper start spitting out. They're quickly collated and stapled together, and you're each handed a booklet with the front cover that just says the rules on it, and a stick figure picture of what would presumably be the captain, who is pointedly not wearing a Hawaiian shirt. If we are ready, I will go over the rules. Please note them. These are enforceable. Rule number 1, the captain must always have his coffee. He needs his coffee. Rule number 2, no kink shaming. Rule number 3, always have a warrant. Rule number 4, Finbar is always right. Yes. Rule number 5, we don't talk about the rocking horse. Just don't do it. Rule number 6, everyone must be buried in a Hawaiian shirt. One will be provided for you if you do not have one. Rule number 7, bloom before boom. Bloom before boom. Rule number 8, do not touch the ooze. Bad things happened. Rule number 9, after rule number 7, when in doubt, burn it out. So bloom before boom, then when in doubt, burn it out. Rule number 10, it is a Finbar move to always lube. Rule number 11, go for the eyes, boo. Rule number 12, a corollary to rule number 2, only a ginger may call another ginger, ginger.
Very important.
Rule number, very important. Yes, very important.
Fair
Rule
enough.
number 3, no clopping in the stables. And rule number 14, do not use Constable Bob for target practice. The breaking of these rules is punishable by being fed to the front desk. The front desk is a mimic.
The front desk has kids too. They're pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
He has
His
a family.
football son is going somewhere. That kid's
Yeah,
going.
his son is going to be somewhere. Like he might be the next seat in the Oval Office. Literally, the next seat.
That could be quite poetic to see, honestly.
That clopping one every time. So, as these pamphlets are distributed and read, the rules are succinctly conveyed by Sooty and Do. The door to the detectives department opens, and you see a thin, tall man with long, dark, curly hair, which is kind of tied back in a ribbon. He has a fancy mustache, a little bit of a goatee going on. And he's wearing this sort of red suit with a tie that has little ships on it. You can hear as he walks in and he looks at you all, and he regards you all sort of warmly. You know, he's not being snooty as he enters. You can hear a loud ticking sound coming from him. And you watch as he pushes his suit jacket backwards and he looks. And you can see that there is a very large novelty alligator-shaped watch on his wrist. So ye be the detectives, aye?
I reckon so. I would have to ask my superiors, though. Are we?
Malene like tries to stand up, but because she's kind of stuck, she kind of just like rolls her body forward and falls like knees to the ground. And like she just gets up all awkwardly and like her horns and her hair are all like messed up. She goes, "We're the detectives."
Due diligence
how can-
grabs the alligator watch and yells "bomb," puts it inside of one of his panels, and goes hauling ass out of the room.
This guy just goes, does he always do that?
Only when there's bombs. But there's never
That was
been
not
a bomb.
That was my watch.
No. It's never a bomb.
I think it's
One time
good
I
to be
made too
safe.
many noises and I got put in a box.
Ah.
Okay, that sounds like an
Raka
adventure
opens
to
up
me.
his rule book and starts thumbing through his. I am sure this is in violation of at least one of these rules.
No, none of the rules are in violation of the things we do.
You hear a distant thump of an explosion, and Dew comes back in shortly thereafter, handing the gentleman what's left of his alligator, little wisps of smoke. I have detonated this safely for you, sir, and hands it back to him.
And he sort of just he takes it in one hand, and as you see now, as you go to hand his watch back, you notice that this man only has one hand. The other has been replaced by what is what appears to be a metal hook. He says,
Oh, the pirate classic.
thank ye for your due diligence, I suppose. That must be you then, yes.
Yes, I am due diligence. Do you have other attachments? I have other attachments, and one of the arms comes off, and it becomes a trebuchet, and then it becomes a tuning fork. I do not have one of those. I should like to acquire that. That looks like it would be quite handy.
Yeah, it'd be handy, but handy, but I have only the one, you see.
I will have to acquire one.
Well, we
Yeah,
don't
you
kink
should.
shame here, so don't worry about your hook.
He just kind
That's
of
one
looks
way
at
to
you
look
like,
at it.
And then I fist bump Gretchen the octopus.
yeah, little tentacle.
She like she lowers her glasses over her like non-existent eyes. It's just like,
She's
I
right,
better
though.
be
We take
introducing
all
myself.
of life here.
I be Captain James Hook, and I am here to take over for a while your captain is out to pasture.
Did you say Captain James Hook?
Yeah, that'd
Oh
be me.
dear.
He's been put out to pasture? Did he break a leg again?
Nah, he's taking some stress leave. Ye be making his mane grey, is what he be saying.
Well,
He's
after
making his
the
mane
coffee
gray.
maker incident.
I thought his natural hair color was very dashing on him.
He is not a Napaloosa.
No. No.
I've always thought he was a Palomino.
Oh, yeah, quite golden, yes.
Naming of any horse types I know here.
I'm just like, what are horses? What are horses?
stallion.
They have 4 legs and hooves, I guess. So this gentleman steps forth, and you see he's very smartly dressed. And he goes up to the little like cafe station you have. It's like a kettle with some like instant coffee and some tea bags. and he makes himself a cup of tea, and out of like a pocket he just pulls out this black mug that has a Jolly Roger on the front and just makes himself a cup of tea.
Waldian is quite ecstatic because Captain James was one of those people whose tales have really inspired him in the last few years, at least. So, even though he's not one to really idolize people, he's still quite ecstatic about it, and just watches the man do his business, starts scribbling a few words about him and stuff. But he's already having a good time today. I've heard only the tales, but they provide nothing but brilliance. I would be quite intrigued to hear the truth from himself, actually.
Maline's gonna peer over Valdian's shoulder like she's reading the notes and be like,
fascinating, isn't it?
As well and look over his shoulder.
I like to take pride in my writing, but I don't think I could truly do his brilliance and legacy justice.
You have beautiful penmanship.
I appreciate
I was
that,
told
my
that if I
friend.
make this face and nod, it looks like I know what you're writing down, so. Those are words, man. Those are words.
They are indeed.
Speaking of words, why have we not heard word from the captain before a new captain came? We can't serve another captain until we see ours in a Hawaiian shirt, Mr. Hook.
Yeah, what are you being a Hawaiian shirt for?
Because all captains need No, this is a trap. See, he doesn't know the important rule about Hawaiian shirts. He's not a real captain.
I knew there was rules being broken here.
I would be quite confident he is Captain James Hook, but then whether he's the captain, it's for you to know, I suppose. I'm just new here.
You're mad. I know nothing about these Hawaiian shirts. But
he's not a captain, I know it.
But I do have a job for you if you be listening. And amiable.
Dude's watching for the reaction when he drinks the tea, remembering that Finbar was the last one that made up the tea bags, and it was something about potpourri and grass clippings.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, the captain makes the tea, and he says, you know, I've got a job for you if you're amiable, and he gets a whiff of this. He goes, yeah, it'd be floral tea, huh? And he takes a big sip and just immediately just oh, what be that? That not be tea.
I believe it was referred to as potpourri tea.
Poper tea! Poper tea!
Oh.
Also, my name's Maline, not amiable, so I can't help you with your adventure.
And we are detectives.
Well, I would say if it was up to me, that it depends on what the proposition is. But I'm quite obliged to follow the lead here, so I guess you will have to convince my senior colleagues.
Also, his name is Valdion, not amiable either.
I've been called that in time, but Valdian is better, more preferable.
Oh, maybe
Oh,
he
the cousin
was
amiable.
Sooty and amiable. Family tree.
I would
He's
like to
just
see that
kind of
family
stood
tree.
here, absolutely bemused. This like full cup of poper tea he's just put down on the side. He's
Poor
kind of
guy.
like trying to swill
I
his
also
mouth
had
out.
an uncle belligerent. He was very fun. But not very easy to understand.
Villager. Now
Dude.
that's the name of stories, isn't it? I had a friend like that once. Quite a few poetry was written in his funny name. And by funny, I mean a lot of things, honestly.
Funny?
I shall read those poems to you sometime. I believe you would understand what is funny exactly about it. And no, it's not just the name belligerent.
No,
No, go ahead.
they made me due diligence.
All right. So at this point, the captain's he steps forward. Says, "All right, let's get down to brass tacks, then, shall we?" Now,
What's that?
Bolts? I have brass
I have no
bolts.
brass.
I've
it'd be
never
a
paid
figure of
taxes.
speech. Not actual brass tacks. It's a figure of speech.
Then
you
why
see.
did you say brass?
I Now, I need ye to help me with my arch nemesis, a criminal of infamy and repute.
Oh, I
Sorry.
would know that repute. I
Done.
believe. Do say his name, please. Or hers, or...
His name be Peter Potts.
Done. He will be taken care of when I start
Peter
heading towards the door.
Pants.
Peter Pants.
Peter Pants. Good one, fake captain.
No,
You almost had us on the hook there.
No, hold on a minute. Did you say Peter Pants? Ah,
How embarrassing for them.
yeah, my memory. You will have to excuse my
Why-
memory.
why-
So many epic names.
Why would you choose such a person as a nemesis?
I did not choose him. You see, when I was a young constable working on the force, this young... And he sort of swears very quietly under his breath. Criminal took it upon himself to become a thorn in my side, if you will. Now, his activities were more like neighborhood nuisances, petty crimes, a little bit of vandalism, a little bit of theft. Most notably, stealing Miss Sails on Miss Ship. But now, he's escalated. And the members of his gang, the Lost Boys, are starting to go missing.
It's in the title, isn't it?
Yes, they just need to find their way home.
Yeah, well,
Also, are they boys
That's
or
what I
men? Are they
need
boys
you for.
or men?
I need you to be finding these boys and bringing them home.
You
Well,
want the
in
lost
the
boys to
past-
become found boys.
Exactly, yes.
Oh, has such
there
a
a
poetic
finder's
tone
fee?
to it.
What was that, sorry?
Is there a finder's fee?
You'll be being paid by the department, no?
Will we be able to pay this tax on the brass with this?
There'll be no actual brass tacks, no little brass stabby things. It's this figure of speech.
One thing we found in the past is that generally, when children decide to wander off, they leave like a little breadcrumb trails or little stones or something. They like to leave a little trail. Has that happened with these boys of their lostness?
Not that I've found, no.
So there's probably not going to be witches involved. Witches be crazy.
Does that mean we'll actually have to do real detective work?
I believe that sounds like it. Should be excitable. Should be quite poetic, I suppose. Yes, I know, I love throwing that word around. I am not apologetic for it. But in
I
all
don't know-
honesty... in all honesty, James Hook and Peter Potts and the Lost Boys. Oh, now am I glad I have signed up for this.
Melina's gonna walk over to City and whisper in her ear. I don't know half of the words our new friend has said.
I'm not understanding him much either. I'm just nodding and saying yes.
I'll do that too. She turns to Val and goes, yes, let's...
Yes.
Yes.
Weldon can quite clearly see through the demeanor, but he's having fun with it, so he'll definitely take it in happy stride.
All right.
Yes.
Oh, you're muted, Cat. Oh, you're muted, other Tim.
Do we know where to find these lost boys?
Their turf be near the 1,000-acre wood, but they've been expanding as of late.
Maybe they got ate by the wolf.
What wolf?
The
which
wolf that was near the
Like
1,000-acre woods the other week.
Ah, that one that be Snow White's henchman.
Yes.
Is that the one with the
that was-
dwarves or the one with the grandmother? We've killed a few of wolves lately. We don't discriminate, but we've killed quite a few wolves lately.
Dwarves can be wolves, but we don't kink shame.
All of them, right in one big sweaty suit, but we don't kink shame.
Dwarves are into wolves, from what I understand.
Right
I
inside
have
of them.
no idea what any of you are talking about.
It's in the logbook.
Very descript. I think. Finbar read it
I have
pretty
no
once.
doubt about that paperwork.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it's quite descript. That is all the better for my purposes.
Roll number 2.
I have it in the filing cabinet, and Dew opens up a panel, and a little kind of puff of smoke comes out first, and then he reaches in and kind of rummages around and hands you a file that's probably probably about that thick.
Valdian gives
These
the
are the
flick,
reports.
but- it's quite clear I won't have the time for it today, unfortunately. But when we do come back, I will definitely going to be spending some nights having some reading to myself.
So-
you can't take that from here.
Are ye gonna be going out there?
Yes.
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it.
Oh, and who's this walking in suddenly out of nowhere? An elven person. Please introduce yourself.
I suppose I should describe my character first, or perhaps myself.
Either one, it's fine.
I'll start with the character, and then at the end, maybe I'll introduce
All
myself,
right.
since we're a bit strapped for time. The elf that walks in is dressed in robes, mostly, adorned with various bark, fur, and leaves, which marks him as a druid. His tanned skin and the dark hair and hazel eyes, for those that know, would mark him as a wood elf. He surveys the room and the people, but doesn't say much.
Welcome on in, my friend. Care to give us your name, my friend?
Deroniel.
Deroniel, quite nice to meet you.
Pretty
I
flower
am-
boy.
Pretty flower boy
boy.
indeed.
Here is
I
your
have
copy
always
of the
had-
rules.
I've always had a taste for wood elves. They have true appreciation for the beauties of nature.
Like,
No,
Only all
don't
other
kink shame
elves
taste
could
or
know
like
that.
eating a taste? We need to know because cannibalism should be a rule. We don't have a rule yet for it, but there should be one about cannibalizing our fellow coworkers.
But there is no cannibalism
Animals,
rule.
We might have to make one due diligence. Our new members of the party are going to eat my new flower boy.
I think your
No.
flower boy should be fine.
Other detectives. Roll number 15. And new pamphlets come spewing out with the new roll.
We use a lot of paper here. And we don't recycle.
We are not eco-friendly at all.
Yeah, that's quite unfortunate, isn't it? But at the end of the day, paper and pen, of course, is our most worthy commotion as thinking beings. Literary beings.
Thinking.
The captain just goes, yeah, this one's got the soul of a poet and the mouth of a bard,
glad you
eh?
could tell.
Right. Now, go on. Get out. I'm sick of seeing
Let's
you.
go find these babies.
Oh, you're muted, cat.
Let us then.
Oh, it's going to be one of those days. We're finding lost boys. Or lost finding boys? Something about boys and the 1,000-acre woods and...
I don't remember if
Getting
Captain
lost.
said they were bad guys or good guys. Do we kill them in the end?
I believe we can talk to them and see what we learn from them, and then I think we'll have time to decide for ourselves. But you guys showed the run.
Well, if
So,
they
T,
have
are-
committed
Am I-
a crime...
We can kill them, right? I mean, we don't have to kill them. We can question them, but we might have to kill them. Prepare yourselves. We might have to kill children in this episode. Everyone, prepare.
I have been
Well, you know,
prepared for a
someone
long
needs-
time.
Not quite happy about killing, but he will concede he's done stuff like that. Unfortunately, the world can work away. And he
By
will still
episode, do
add it
you
in his
mean
poetry.
Someone is having a psychotic episode, perhaps?
I've had
How
a
so?
psychotic. How old is my character? I've been having a psychotic episode for that many years. The voices in my head say it makes me very powerful, beautiful flower boy.
Oh, wait a sec. We had a Wild Magic Surge donate, so let me just quickly
Oh, no.
Oh dear.
let's see who gets that. Do you have a Wild Magic Surge? So if you wouldn't mind rolling on the table for us.
All righty.
We'll see what happens to do. So 3218. What does that one do?
Yep. I don't know. I'm afraid.
Some nonsense.
I have resistance to fire, so as long as it's just.
Well, Din really hopes it's not fire, because fire is not his thing ever. No fire, please.
Have you got the
Oops.
thing, Cat?
Yeah, I'm looking it up now. Hang on a second. Scroll. 3218, correct? Okay.
Oh no!
Oh dear.
I've just read what it is.
Oh.
What is it?
Next-
Don't leave me hanging.
Right?
Next potion,
Cliffhanger.
next potion imbibed by caster burns his home to the ground.
Ouch!
Well, I mean, I don't think he's drank any potions. I don't know that he had. This could get interesting if somebody gives him a potion.
No potions for you.
Preemptive question.
Yeah,
Do
I see you,
ointments
Susie.
count? Do ointments count for that?
Mm,
Because I have some.
that's Susie.
I mean,
Up
it's
to you,
not.
but-
Who
long as you
doesn't
don't
drink
drink them.
potions? So we could expand this a little bit.
Oh boy.
Well, I don't know. Let's see.
I mean, I don't
Doesn't
know
due
if that's
diligence
supposed
live
to
in
go as we
the
think.
police station? As
Yes.
Yes, he
So
just
not
gets plugged in
only-
overnight.
Not only would that burn down Dew's house, it would also burn down Maylene's house, Suti's house,
And
whoever the heck else lives in the TPD.
Wait! I was about to say, my house is the
The desk lives at this.
The desk.
No, nobody ever give due diligence potions. I'm sorry. The desk has to live.
He's got so much to live for.
He worked day and night for his children. He's given up it all.
1 year away from retirement.
Oh god.
His bastard son is just going to college. Okay, so you folks head out of the TPD. You are provided with a departmental paddy wagon to take you down to the 1,000-acre wood, which you've been to before. That is the site of where the Schwein brothers were all brutally murdered by Snow White's henchman, the big bad wolf. Well, the two of the Schwein brothers were. One survived. So you arrive there and you see that the 1,000-acre wood, when you were there, was just a burgeoning sort of building site. There were one or two sort of display homes. It wasn't anything like the development that had been pitched, and you'd seen plastered all over town with the billboards and in the papers and on the YouTube. I think that's what we call fantasy YouTube. But as you arrive now, it looks as if a massive housing estate has just sprung up overnight. You can see beautiful, like, tiny shoebox houses with manicured gardens, tiny little picket fences, beautifully sort of shaped bushes and plants, all just pristine. None of it looks real. It all looks a bit too fairy tale.
Dear me, when will humanity's greed stop? When will stop destroying all those woods? All these gardens are beautiful, yes, but...
Dude's going around collecting all of the garden gnomes and carefully picking them up and carrying them away someplace safe.
So, everybody roll me perception checks, please.
Perception, alright. Let me... God.
Oh, except Do. Everybody except Do. I want to see who notices Do. Or
well, that's good because Do rolled it.
Okay.
That's a 14.
2 rolled a natural 1, so...
Yep. 16 for Waldian.
Do you want me to roll stealth for him?
Yes.
Well, he's not trying to hide. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hold on, my internet's a little slow.
That's all good.
14 for Raka.
14 for Raka. Okay.
I mean, you did get a 5 for stealth, so...
Yeah.
I was gonna say, basically everybody, you hear the sort of clinking of ceramics bumping together very, very slightly, and you tend to watch as Do has an armful of garden gnomes that he is clutching so delicately as if they were precious tiny children, and he's sort of very slowly, very carefully rolling away, trying not to break any of these gnomes.
The task is done. We've already found the children.
That would have been interesting, although I doubt it. He does seem to have quite an interest in these little things, doesn't he? I wonder if there's a story behind it. I'd love to hear that.
Oh, we don't have the time.
When we do,
As
please do tell me sometime.
as he finds a safe place for them and puts them down, he goes back and just grabs another group
Mm-hmm.
and carries them over.
Okay, this time as you are sort of like rescuing these garden gnomes from their garden prisons, you hear a voice cry, "Hey, asshole, put me down!" And you see that you have picked up an actual gnome who was just in his garden.
I put him down. Yes, of course. What can I do for you?
Get out of my yard! I'm trying to mow the lawn here. Come on, man. You got your wheel tracks all over my flower beds. You see my petunias? You've crushed my petunias.
I will fix those for you. I will fix those for you.
Just Just go. Just go. You've done enough.
Oh, yes, of course. And he turns around and he just leaves.
Due diligence, get back here.
No, I must go.
No, and she turns to the little gnome and says, tell him to come back. We are officers of the law, and I'll put you in prison if you don't tell him to come back right now.
You cannot do that.
I can do whatever I want. I'll fireball him. Tell him to come back.
What?
I'm counting to 3.
Okay, come back. Come back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Come back. I'm so sorry. I offended you.
And he picks up the gnome and says, no offense. I will not allow them to harm you. And he very carefully carries the gnome back to his house, making sure to avoid the flower beds, and very gently sets him back on his lawn.
Sooty will start tending to the flower beds in the meantime.
Yeah, Valdian will go help her. Yeah.
Moline is just threatening him. And then she turns to the ceramic gnomes and points to them and goes, and if you guys have a goddamn word to say, I'll fireball you too. Due diligence.
Malene, there's no reason to fireball anything, is there? I think we can just let them be.
As you spin around to violently accuse these other gnomes, you see that these are proper saucy gnomes, and one is just mooning you. The other is a pickaxe over his shoulder, and somehow that seems worse.
You disrespectful little. Ugh. And she's going.
Maybe have a day.
She's gonna Eldritch Blast a lot of them.
Roll to attack the garden gnomes.
Oh boy!
Counterspell. Counterspell.
I take a step away and try to hide in plain sight and just meld into a nearby.
I look like a tree. I'm a tree. Don't bother me.
Darren Neal does that. The Homer thing back into the bush. Okay, so Merlene, do you raise a finger to cast Eldritch Blast? And as you recount your incantation and feel the energy pulse through you, it's suddenly cut short, and you see Due Diligence is it's doing this at you, right? Because that's your somatic component.
Yeah. And he's put himself physically between Malene and the gnomes.
Due diligence, I love you, and I would never kink shame you for your weird gnome thing. But you've got to do your work first.
I am protecting the gnomes.
At that point, Valdian takes out a piece of parchment out and writes a little message on it. And as he does that, at the same moment, Malene hears this subtle message in her head that says, hey, calm down. We will have many things to blast, I believe. You can preserve your energy for them.
Is this one I can respond to or no? Is it just one way?
Should be able to respond to, yeah. If you want, you can reply in a whisper.
I'll just be like, she always does terrible things to us when there are gnomes involved. She'll kill us for a gnome. He'll kill us for a gnome. Sorry. He'll kill us for a gnome. You should have seen us at the bar 3 weeks ago.
Hey, why are you harming his gnomes then? There's no reason to upset him in that case.
Well, look at they're showing their butts at me. That's so rude.
You could have thrown the dwarf. Do not throw the gnomes.
All right. While this encounter is happening between Valdian, Merlene, and Deo, could Raka, Sooty, and Daroniel roll me perception checks, please?
I've not used fantasy grounds before, so how do I do that? I have a perception modifier of +8, so.
Okay.
How do I apply that?
So click on your D20. And where it's you see the green in the chat box, just toss it and drop it in there.
Oh.
There you go.
That's a 15 for me.
All right. So that's a +8 to that 4, right?
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
Rolled
So,
pretty low.
yep. And Sooty, what did you get?
I got a 9.
A 9. Okay, so Raka, you are the only one that notices this, but as you are trying to not get involved in the PvP that's happening in a poor gnome's front garden, you sort of wander around a bit, and you notice that on the side of on the house to the gnome's house, so they're all detached houses, like little shoeboxes, you see what appears to be some sort of graffiti.
Valium, you are the reader of the group. Look at this writing. What does it say?
And then, hearing that, Walden will turn around and see what that writing's about,
Okay.
as Raka points it out.
So you see written on the wall in something red, in capital letters, is the word Bangarang.
Bangarang. I do not believe that's a word I've recently been acquainted with, though I'm sure I should have heard of it somewhere. If I could remember better about the legacy of Peter Potts, I think maybe I could try connecting it to that, but I can't make any sense right now, I'm afraid.
Actually,
So
go ahead and roll me an intelligence check, like a history check, to see if digging deep into your mind about the lore of Peter Potts.
Thing. Let me see. Although, now that I think again,
something is triggering something. You don't know exactly what it means, but you know that this is something that was shouted a fair bit by people of this gang.
interesting. Now that I think on it again, I seem to recall it was some sort of slogan for these people. I don't know what they used it for, but the Lost Boys, they are associated with this Bangarang thing. So yeah, I think we have a bit of a lead here, if you can track this graffiti.
The Lost Boys are into banging rangs?
That could be it. That could be anything. That could be some random drunk rambling. When it comes to words, there's always any chance.
Well, we do not kink shame, so it is not a crime to bang a rang.
I suppose not.
Valdian and Raka, just roll me some investigation checks as you check out this graffiti.
Yep, sure thing. Let me see my bonus. Yeah. Investigation.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. There you go.
Seven.
Okay,
Or eight.
so with a 6 and an 8, you can't exactly tell what substance this is that this word has been written in, but it sure as shit ain't paint. There's something strange about this.
I'll run my finger across it and test the viscosity between my fingers.
At this point, it is pretty dried, but it is a little bit... There's a little bit of tackiness to it. And as you pull your finger back and you taste it, it tastes metallic. At that point, you're pretty sure that that's mostly blood.
I am pretty sure this is mostly blood.
Could certainly be. Has a color for it.
Here,
But
taste
to
it.
find
You are
so
familiar
much
with the
blood.
taste of blood.
So can you just say that again, Kat? Because it was a bit...
You are familiar with the taste of blood?
Oh, of course. Who is not?
I have not tasted blood.
Oh, here.
I'm afraid to say I have. It hasn't been pleasant.
I have been splattered in it, but I have not tasted it.
We don't king shame here, so I'm not going to talk about it. Because I don't.
Can do even taste?
No, because he doesn't eat or drink.
No.
I tend to lick things a little bit too easily, so I don't know whether I should be licking this blood.
You did help us solve that one case, though, when you licked the blood, remember? You solved the entire case by licking blood.
Oh, give me them.
Go ahead.
That's true.
Just like there's nothing poisonous in this blood, because blood can be a house to all manners of things, honestly.
So, Sooty, because this is written on a wall, you lick the wall.
That needs to be made into a GIF.
These are going to be
Actually,
there's no reason
while
for this game.
Can make it a bit easier for Sudi by, if you can, moving the water of the blood, because it's still a little bit red, and making it drip, so that she doesn't have to really lick the wall. Oh, there you go. Help yourself.
This is 100% blood. Roll me a nature check to see if you can find out what kind of blood it is.
I'm getting a
Casual.
hint of
Roll your blood check, please.
That would be a 17. 17.
I want
Sooty.
in on this. Dronial pops in out of nowhere and goes,
Okay, roll a nature check. We have gone off the deep end.
Yep.
Oh, dang, with a 21. Okay, so, Deronial, you're picking up sort of large humanoid tones. There's something here. It's quite oxygen rich. Ooh, I can't speak. It's definitely coming from a being that is perhaps maybe giant-sized. Sooty, you know exactly what this is. You've tasted giant blood before.
I'm getting a hint of giant. This is giant's blood again. Why is it every time I lick something it tastes of giant?
Well,
The
it's
only
better
giant
than
I know
finding
anymore is
children.
Constable Bob, though. When was the last time we've seen Constable Bob? Is he safe?
Oh.
You haven't seen him for a few weeks.
Uh-oh. Tune in next week to find out where Bob's gone.
Sooty and Deronial have licked up half of him.
Oh, no.
Bob
It
will
wasn't
always
that
be within
tasty.
you.
Mm.
It wasn't
He will
that
always be
tasty.
a part of us, or them.
Oh, lordy. I just... thirst.
But this is definitely giant's blood.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to Sooty licking Constable Bob off the wall.
No.
Got it. Okay.
This is quite distasteful.
DM veto. I am playing my X card. Okay, so I would like, as you notice this graffiti on this house, I would like you all to roll me further investigation checks to look for more clues.
Yep. Let's go.
All right. 26 for Dew.
Oh,
Wow,
good dude.
nice. 15 for Waldian.
12 for Raka.
Wow, 17. 17 whole points for Malene. It's a lot higher than she's ever rolled for an investigation.
5 for
Okay.
Sooty. I think she's still obsessed with this blood right here.
Mm-hmm. And how did
Well,
Deronial do?
Just a 9.
Just a 9. Okay, so do Maylene. Sorry, what did you get again, Sooty?
5.
5, okay. Not Sooty. And Valdian, as you begin to scour the neighborhood now, you have to resist the urge. You've seen more gnomes all over this place. And in fact, one in particular strikes you as significant. Their lies in the middle
what
of
did you say?
in a second, I'm just doing each character's finding different clues. So we're just doing
Okay.
Do first, and then I'll come to Valdian.
All
Do, you, in the middle of a garden path, is a gnome shattered into pieces.
He makes a beeline, avoiding the flower beds and the lawns, for the shattered gnome, and very carefully is collecting all of the pieces and starts trying to put it together. One of his appendages, the tip opens and becomes a hot glue gun.
Oh.
As he starts putting this shattered gnome back together, meanwhile looking for anything what might have, who would have done this, what would have caused this.
So you piece the gnome back together as best you can from what remains, but there's one piece missing. The right eye is nowhere to be found.
He opens up his little cabinet and he starts rummaging around, and out comes a little eye patch, and he puts the eye patch on the gnome, and then he very carefully picks it up and carries it to the yard of the other gnome that yelled at him for his flower beds, and brings it to him. I have to do my work. Will you watch over him?
And the gnome
sets it down.
The gnome just kind of goes,
Yeah, sure thing, buddy.
Thank you. I will come collect him afterwards.
All right, it's gonna be right here.
Thank you. And then Dude goes back to what he was doing.
Okay, so we will cut to Valdian. You, as you scour around, you find more graffiti, and you find that nearly every house in this neighborhood has been tagged. The mailboxes have been tagged with words like bangarang and just nonsense, sort of like Lost Boys-esque words.
There's been quite a bit of vandalism around here. I can clearly see that. They've been here for a while.
You do note, however, that not all of them appear to be made with blood. There's quite a lot of paint here in various colors, all of them bright and gaudy. There's like pinks and blues and yellows and whites. But as you get closer to where the woodland meets the housing estate, that's where the paint starts to turn into the giant's blood.
Well, all around I'm seeing graffiti, but most of them are made with normal ink, normal paint, but concentrating around this particular area, it starts to turn into blood color. And I suspect it's the same blood as the others, and it's quite a bit. So if it is out of one creature, I would not want to be that giant. I certainly hope it's not Constable Bob. Certainly hope not.
All right, and Maylene, as you're searching around, you're not interested in the words. You can't read them. You don't understand what it says. The gnomes hold no interest to you, although, I mean, you do have an opportunity right now to get the one that was mooning you. But other than that, as you are digging around in the various gardens, you find what appears to be a TPD badge. And you see, as you pick it up and flip it over, scratched into the back very crudely are the letters B-O-B.
I can figure this one out. Buh. Oh. Buh. Bo.
Ah,
Bo.
turns out.
And she's walking back to the party, and she's walking back holding this thing. And she's like, so I found a TPD thing for someone named Bope. B-O-B Bope.
Bob.
Do you know any Bopes? Bob.
B.O.B. Bob.
You guys do.
Soft O. Soft O. I can read it. See, it says Bob.
Wait. Bob. We must find Bob. And Doog is going to blow his whistle because that's what you do when you need a constable or a police officer, hoping that maybe Bob will respond. So he goes.
I'm going.
Yeah, he's rolling towards the edge of the wood, blowing his whistle.
You hear nothing.
I head over to where Marlene found the badge. I'm just going to look around and see if it looks like there was recently upturned dirt, like it was dug up, like a recent grave.
Okay. Roll me an investigation check.
12.
Okay. You look for signs of a grave, like perhaps they've killed him and just sort of shoved him in, but you can't find anything. But as you look around, it appears that this was definitely the site of a struggle. The flower beds are sort of smushed down as if there were feet there. There's sort of divots in the turf where it appears like either a weapon or like a foot has come down hard. There's definitely signs that Officer Bob did not go willingly.
It looks like Officer Bob did not go willingly.
Go where?
Do not go gentle into that good night.
Those are not my favorite piece of poetry. Yeah, the Gentle Knight, as I've heard, is not the most pleasant place.
I'm going to kill all of the Lost Boys. I'm going to kill all of the Lost Boys. And Maline's gonna, like, holding the badge, she's gonna tuck it in her shirt where, like, a small tentacle, like, reaches up and grabs it and pulls it in. Just, Bob is by my heart, and I'm going to kill all the Lost.
I mean, I would protest, but in this case,
we
all
must
yours, I guess.
revenge him.
To the woods.
Can we tell where they might have taken him?
Ask your gnome friend.
There is, Rocco would have noticed that the trail seems to head towards the forest, but as you folks are all kind of stood in this garden looking at these trails, a face sort of comes around the door, and it's an elderly woman, and she says, "Oh, are you all officers with the TPD?"
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, well, it took you a while, but I'm glad you finally responded to my letters. You see, well, there was a very large man in my garden the other night, yes, and I think he said something about being an officer. I can't quite tell. His voice was very difficult for my old ears, you see, and well, I sort of hid inside and locked my door 16 times, as is procedure. You should always lock your door many times. You never know who's out there. Ruffians, you see. Well, and I was watching through the curtains, net curtains, great for twitching. Well, and I saw, there seemed to be shadows that leaped out at him, and he fought, and I heard the scuffle, but I didn't go outside because, I'm just an old woman. But then they sort of fell down, and, the shadows picked him up and took him out of my garden, which I thought was lovely of them, really. They did make a little bit of a mess, but they did get rid of the big man.
Shadows, you say? Could you be a bit more descriptive? Did they look like people? Did they have organs, extremities, or any detail that doesn't quite look like a shadow? Or any colors?
That
Visual
big man was
details?
a constable. He was gonna protect all of you, and you just let them take him. I don't care how old you
Malene,
are.
Ma'am, please. Your worry and pain is quite understandable, but I think we should keep calm if we are to get any results here. So please, hold on a minute.
Dearie, don't cry. And she comes out and she's got like a little lace hanky and she sort of dabs your tears. I'm sorry I didn't save your friend. You see, I would have done in my youth. I was quite an accomplished adventurer. But I'm old and frail. But to answer your questions, young moist sir, I saw... I don't care.
Did you say young moist sir?
No king shaming. He is made of water. No king shaming here.
I saw they appeared to be humanoids. Young males between 18 to 24. If I was to fill out a survey, that would be the category I'd pick.
Did they appear to be lost?
Oh, well, it was dark, and it wasn't their house, so we could assume that they were indeed lost.
Well, you may
Maybe
have found
lost
them.
Where did
isn't
these-
location. Maybe lost souls. She's
Can I ask
clutching this
something?
handkerchief now.
Was there any street lights in where we came to?
Well, there used to be, but we petitioned as part of the neighborhood to remove them because they were a nuisance.
So you said it was dark, and yet you saw what you described shadows. If you don't mind, please let me be frank, but you do seem to be of quite an age, and as we know, what age it's the most occurs to be the eyesight usually. So all in that, I'm quite curious how you were able to so clearly see these shadows, and to the point you can even describe their age. Pick a giant up. Even I can't imagine seeing it that clearly, especially if it was quite dark.
Oh dear. And she goes to pat you, and then she does and goes, yeah, you see, when I was, now, how old was I? About 31. I was hired with my adventuring companions to take out a lich. It was thrilling. It was so fun. And we went all the way down to his catacombs. We destroyed his phylacteries. But he did offer us certain bargains. And well, you know, being young and 31 and nothing else to lose as an adventurer, I bargained for new eyes.
Oh, that is quite fascinating. As Waldian says that he tries to get a closer look at her to make sure that she's being truthful about that.
Okay, roll an insight check.
Yep, sure thing. Yeah. Come on. Windows not being my friend at times. Yep,
That's all
there we
good.
go.
Okay, so being a wizard yourself, you can kind of tell when somebody has arcane power at their disposal. This woman is not as helpless as she is making herself out to be. She doesn't appear to be lying about making the bargain with the lich, but she's definitely holding something back.
Waldian just gets closer to her in a humorous manner and, pretends to really examine the eyes closely. Those look like healthy eyes, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
But if I may be frank, you do seem quite knowledgeable when it comes to these arcane matters, and you, as I said, you were really clearly able to describe shadows outside. I was really curious if you couldn't pick your mind a bit more and see if you know something else we don't know.
Well, I mean, you're more than welcome to come by for tea someday, but now's not really convenient.
Well, although we loathe to take more of your time and disturb you more, we do have an important investigation in our hands, and I'm quite
we
sure
must go find Bob.
Well, the more we know at this moment about whatever happened, the better. And it's just a gut feeling, really. But I feel there's valuable information here. And he turns back to the old lady. And I'm quite sure you would agree with us in wanting to help with justice.
No, go ahead.
Dew's gonna go look at the cat and go, Can you track him?
Were you talking to me?
To Raka.
Oh, okay. I can attempt to track him, but I am not the best of trackers.
But
I
you're
will
a
try to
cat,
follow-
cats. Or are
What
those
skill is
dogs?
They're both. Both species are relatively capable.
It would
like
be
that.
a survival check to track,
That's
which I believe is
then
wisdom based.
that I can
I'm
do.
pretty good
Yeah.
at that, yeah.
Oh, sorry.
20.
Oh, okay. So,
Lovely.
you spend a couple of moments while Valdian is chatting to this elderly lady. You look around and you can definitely see tracks leading off into the 1,000-acre wood.
I definitely have found tracks leading off into the 1,000-acre wood.
Have you now?
Dude, we should follow them.
Okay.
We should follow them. We may find him still.
Yes, you should do that. Follow while the trail is hot, I always used to say. And you, young lad, you can always come by. I'll teach you a few tricks. I see that hunger in your eyes. I know the gods to talk to.
That's appreciable, I suppose.
What flavor tea?
Oh, well, I have all sorts of teas. I have cardamom. I have English breakfast. I have Earl Grey. Oolong. That one's a favorite.
Have
Do
you
you have
tried
chamomile?
potpourri tea?
Oh, chamomile. I think I have that one somewhere. Yes, chamomile. Yes. Oh, we have some chai too, which I like a lot. Puts me right to sleep.
Oh, they all sound quite lovely. Oh, thus, alas, I think it is time to get a move on, since we do have a track, don't we? Yeah, I reckon we want to find our friend soon. But at any rate, thank you for having us, ma'am. And he takes out a card out of his pocket, and although it's just his first day, is a very beautifully adorned business card, and he just hands it to her. And anytime you may have anything to talk about, any tips or advice, or just an invitation for tea, do feel completely free to give a call.
Mm-hmm. She takes it from you. What languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, and Primordial.
Okay, so as she takes your business card, she gestures towards you and says, "Just a little good luck charm." And she mutters something in a language you do not understand. And as she adjusts her little lace shawl and makes her way back into her house, you hear her as she closes the door and locks it behind her.
Did
That
any
was
of us
quite
hear it?
intriguing. I certainly did. Waldian already starts scribbling down what he
do-
thought he heard, but
Yeah.
Mhm.
he doesn't
Do you
understand.
probably
Did
would have
anyone
heard
hear
it? Yeah, you probably would have heard it, do.
Okay. Let's see. Gnomish, Undercommon, and Dwarvish.
You do not understand what was said. But
Who all could have heard it?
I mean, you were all kind of stood there in the front garden, so you would have all heard it. Maylene, what do you speak?
I speak Common, Infernal, I speak. Actually, I just switched over my character sheet, so I don't have all of them listed. But I think I spoke something else. What did I speak? I don't know. Let's just say Common and Infernal for now.
With speaking Infernal, you would have understood what she said. She said. And she gestured, and she said, addressing someone that not present, this one will do nicely.
She's a witch.
She speaks Infernal. What an old lady. And then, without saying what she said,
ominous.
Malene just shrugs without telling anyone what she said and starts walking towards the woods.
Malene, can I ask a favor? I'm sure you heard what she said clearly, if you could so easily identify the language. Do you mind telling us? Because I'm pretty confident it actually concerned myself.
Malene just nods and she goes, no, I don't mind. And just without saying what she said, she just keeps walking in the direction that Raka said it with her. He's like, no, I don't mind at all.
All
You've
right.
got to be very specific with meaning.
So,
I am nearing the woods. It would be nice if you all came with me.
Malene like catches up, trying to keep her heels out of the mud, like tiptoeing.
yeah, muted cat.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Oh, don't.
Can I make a survival roll as well? To assist
absolutely.
tracking?
So we've got Deroniel and Raka up front.
Yeah.
So
No,
that
that
is a
was rubbish.
9. It's all good. So, Raka, you're pretty much leading this trek into the woods. Deroniel, you're helping here and there. You know, you're able to point out.
Just too distracted by all those T's.
Yeah, there's so many options to choose from. But you're able to help Raka by pointing out certain animal prints that you would know as being a druid. You know, you'd be like, that's not a person, that's a deer. And stuff like that. Is there anything anybody would like to...
I'm helping, but I'm actually getting in the way.
Yeah, I'm helping. Is there anything anybody would like to do before or as you're walking through this woodland?
Valdian tried to scribble down what the old lady said. It's obviously just gibberish because he didn't know the language at all, but he just spends all the journey studying it before just going, screw it, and just rolling down the parchment, putting it away, and he stops paying a mind to it because whatever will happen will happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to transcribe Infernal too because it sounds like an emo screaming singer, but played backwards.
I'm aware, yeah.
So
I mean, he's definitely
really,
heard the language, but didn't have the time
just
to really study it at all.
AG.
So, I would like you all, as you're walking through this woodland, following these tracks, to roll me perception checks.
Perception, sure thing.
Huh.
18.
Oh, natural 20.
Nice.
That's not good. Baldin is paying too much attention to that parchment. That's what he's really distracted.
All right, so do Raka, Deroniel, and what did you get, Sati?
4.
No, not Sati. So do Deroniel, Raka, you folks, as you're walking, notice that this woodland is eerily quiet. There doesn't appear to be any, as you're getting deeper into this woodland, there doesn't appear to be any sort of animal presence around you. You heard it on the outskirts. You heard the skittering of critters around the ground. You heard squirrels and rabbits and baby deers. But it's quiet.
As quietly as possible, I pull my saber out of his sheath. There's something not right here in these woods.
You think?
It's quiet. It's too quiet.
Too quiet.
Oh no.
It's chilling indeed. Let's
I don't
keep
think
an
it's
eye
very
out.
quiet. All of you are very loud.
As you're
May well
walking,
be.
you see pinned to a tree in front of you a letter, a note. It looks like a ransom note pieced together with bits cut out of a magazine.
I carefully take it, pull it down, and start reading it.
Okay, so one thing that strikes you in particular as you see this, right at the top, it says "we," and then next to that is the missing right eye of the gnome, and then you. We see you.
What did you find, though?
Waldin steps by and
Very bad.
has a read.
What do they call it? Where you there's a name for those
Collage?
puzzles where they're used
Pictograms.
symbols. Yes, a very icky pictogram. They eye us.
I think that could
That's
be a
how,
stand-in
that's
for
how I read it
C.
as well.
Yes, they eye us. We
They have very bad grammar.
Oh, I owe you? No.
They owe us something.
Whatever it is, we know that it's a travesty of paper. It's just a
They
waste.
took his
There's
eye.
something called ink.
I will kill them. Someone has harmed a gnome.
Ah,
Impossible,
no.
Bob, due
Do this.
diligence.
I believe
He
the
starts
culling
looking
term
for
has been mentioned many a times.
Okay, there is nothing immediately close to you, but you can see ahead of you another gleam of white, another piece of paper pinned to a tree.
I sprint off
He gives
towards it.
Tree.
They nailed it to a tree.
And so she's just going to go and hug the tree while I think Raka, you said that you were going to.
Pull the
Yeah,
nail
running
out.
off towards it.
It's okay.
Then
It's okay. You're fine.
you swear, Sooty, like nothing actually happens, but you feel the tree bark sort of like in a bit as if it's receiving the hug. It seems appreciative of the hug. This note says, we have the giant.
They have him. They have Bob. And I
Well,
hold out
at
the
least he's
evidence
not
bag
dead.
for Raka to put the note in the evidence bag with the other note. This way
ahead.
they will know why we killed them.
There's another.
I sprint
This
off
one.
towards it.
This one isn't a note. This one is a crude drawing. And it's a real bad stick figure drawing of Officer Bob laid down on the ground, his head separated from his body, and a donut covered in blood next to him.
Well, maybe he's not alive.
Granny's donuts? Can't hear you, madam.
Sorry, I was actually.
Oh,
I just got given a coffee.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry. Yeah, just like Granny's donuts. Is it Granny's donuts? This cannot stand. And he just takes off.
Okay, so you're heading down like a forest path, and this isn't as like a path laden with stones. This is a well-beaten path from walking, and it stretches on for a long time, and it's winding through the trees and the underbrush. But before long, you arrive at a large sort of construct here. There is a huge huge oak tree, and built within this tree is a very, very elaborate and intricate treehouse.
Oh.
And there are all sorts of decorations all over the place. There's crude signs, there's flags, there's bunting made of underpants just flapping in the breeze, there's feathers, there's paint thrown all over this place.
You don't think it was the
Are we
Keebler
talking
elves,
like
do you?
multi-story?
Yeah, we're
treehouse,
talking
or-
like
It's
a
like more like a
serious
mansion
treehouse.
in a tree.
Yes. Impressive stuff.
I heard about Keebler elves that live like this.
Are there any ladders or anything going up to it?
Yeah, there's ropes with pulleys, there's rope ladders, there's stairs, there's actual ladders, there's all sorts of manners of way. There's even a ramp. They are accessible to all kinds of folks. There's a wheelchair ramp leading up to this treehouse. They do not discriminate in entrances.
Oh.
I ignore all those, and using my cat's claws, I start climbing the tree.
All right. So, just roll me an athletics check just to see how well you do at climbing this tree.
Bob, are you in there, Bob?
Silence.
13.
13. Okay. Yeah, you're doing pretty well at climbing. It's a bit tricky in places because there's structures in the way, but you manage to get your way up there. There's ropes and stuff lashed around the trees, which give you nice little handholds to climb up. And you're perched on a long bough that isn't attached to any sort of building right now. But you have a good overview of like the clearing and the top of this this sort of structure. And it has a roof. There doesn't appear to be any holes or damage in this roof. It's a very well constructed sort of building. I would like you all, as Do called out, to roll me perception checks, please.
Perception coming up.
Do is also casting mage armor on himself.
Back
Gosh
at it with
darn
them
it.
11s.
That makes an 18.
17?
22.
I keep rolling a 5.
No!
17.
This is like the third time today.
Okay.
That's your lucky number then.
Right? Lucky number 5.
Everybody except Maylene and Sooty, you hear some sort of movement from within. It's pretty difficult to see. It's because this is like the middle of the forest. It's pretty dark. And as you've been investigating all day, the sun is beginning to set anyway, so it's getting pretty dark in here. But you can hear some sort of movement from within the structure. Raka, you definitely can hear movement from within the structure.
Is there
I
a
try
door?
to
Yeah,
Go ahead.
there's tons of doors.
I try to very carefully climb across the bow and get closer to the structure so I can try to look into one of the windows.
Okay. Yeah, so you sort of scoot along the bow and you sort of dangle down to look into one of the windows. Are you trying to do this stealthily?
Yes, as stealthily as I can.
Okay, roll me a stealth check, please.
Do is in the process of putting on his battering ram attachment.
24.
Okay, so Do is getting geared up in his riot gear. Little PVC shield comes down his face. Little arm pads on. Raka, you very, very quietly, almost making no sound at all, sort of peek into a window, and you can see there are quite a lot of people in here. They are all sleeping. They're all lined up, laid down, and appear to be sleeping. Although one or two are sort of stirring.
Do they look like kids? What type of people are they?
they look like, just to make this morally better for me, young adults between the 18 and 24 range, so I don't feel bad about us murdering children.
Cop out.
I am a cop-out, yes.
It's like, that we
this is a
don't
good
feel bad about
cop-out.
murdering children again. Like,
Yes. We bury our
So
shame.
I look down to the group and I go,
Do you see spark a flame and look at you questioning?
Oh, no.
Bob might be
because-
in there.
Because Raka was so silent, Waldian again takes out a piece of parchment and asks, writes what did you see on there? And Raka again can hear it in his head.
Okay, so just give you a clearer picture of how many. There were about 10 people in this room. 5 up, 5 down, all asleep.
With no response to the flame, Dew will go back to the battering ram, and he is preparing to charge the door.
Okay. I was fully expecting a fireball to go in there.
Yes,
Same.
but then Malene said that, reminded me that Bob was in there. So before he charges the door, the speaker, he will announce using his loudspeaker.
Okay,
It's also
it should
in
be
a
noted.
tree. So, think before boom,
Bloom before boom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
That is
were
the other
able
one.
to catch them unawares, I guess.
Raka
That's-
did note that Bob was not in that room. They were all humanoids, not a hill giant, as Bob is a hill giant.
I mean, we could fireball that one room.
We could, yes.
I
look at
do
Goody.
have the ability to walk through flames. I could run in there, and we could find Bob.
Chat has just raised a very interesting question. Do you have a warrant ready?
Yes, of course. Always.
Good.
And they print it out.
Because we don't want to be doing this illegally now.
No, Dew does have a warrant. He always has a warrant.
I hear like the fax machine sound as the
Mhm.
printing happens.
Yeah.
Duronia
All right.
will cast Barkskin on himself.
Okie dokie. So, what's happening? What are we doing? What's the plan?
so I crawl over to where they are off of one bows and I just hang off upside down. I believe that Captain, whatever his name was, wanted us to bring them back for questioning. Was that the deal?
I reckon
We
so.
don't follow those deals. If they hurt Bob and due diligence's gnomes, we're gonna kill all of them. So I hope that doesn't bother you.
I don't
Could
care,
still
but I
be
don't want to
useful
break
spell.
rules.
Do cast fireball in the window.
I can't do that.
But do can open the window.
Okay.
Like,
So, Raka, you very quietly just pop the window open, giving Dew a beautiful target for a fireball.
Waldian will cut
Dew
it
looks at
right
Rocket and
before-
goes,
Can I ask, do I have to go in if you set the place in flame? Because
Yes, to help us save Bob. You're wet.
fire
You
is
can
not my thing.
you
you
hear
can just moisture
coming out of the
yourself.
I
loudspeaker.
also vaporize.
You
And
hear coming out of the loudspeaker of Dew, surrender the giant or die.
Giants
is
or die.
silence. There's no
look
response.
I look at City. Boom before bloom, or you bloom?
Bob was the bloom. Bob was the bloom. We need to be the boom. Think of the gnomes, Do. The gnome.
Rule number 7, Sooty's rule.
Creepy little gnomes.
I mean, they've surely heard us, haven't they?
The fire goes pointing towards Raka.
How's Sooty dealing? How's Sooty coping? What would Sooty like to do in this moment?
Sooty's kind of having a bit of like an existential thing, but I think what she might end up doing is running into that room and giving her own kind of boom with her thunder wave.
I do not know if I like this idea.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's Sooty's role, bloom before boom. So before he will boom, he will let Sooty go in and bloom.
Okay, so Raka, you are poised and ready for a fireball to explode below you. You braced on the bow, head down, ears folded so they don't get singed. When you see a tiny halfling come sprinting at the treehouse and dive into the window, there's a few seconds before you hear a from within. Roll your damage, Sooty. Oh no.
Okay, let's see. Gosh darn it, 5 again.
Oh my!
I'm retiring this dice.
No, because it's a wizard. It's a save. So, you just roll damage. You don't have to roll your d20.
There we go. Well, screw you, dice, nonetheless. All right.
But that is damn impressive.
I do believe Thunder Wave. I normally have my list up. It's 2d8. Cool. 2d8.
Can I say something? Ma'am Gandalf, did you roll a 5 4 times in a row? Did that just happen?
That did just happen.
You know that has an odd of only 1 in 160,000, right? You should retire that dice. And yes,
it's already been decided. It's like it's weighted on the 5. But that was a 9 total for Thunder
9
Wave.
total damage. Well, unfortunately, these boys are made of paper. So there is a sickening boom. And you hear, Raka, you in particular hear this, the thud of bodies just hitting every available surface in this room. Sooty, you have made it rain within this room.
It's raining, boys. Hallelujah, it's raining, boys. Goodbye.
Maybe
I'm
blood.
gonna go out. I'm gonna let myself get probably some sort of list on the FBI.
And in fact, from outside of the treehouse, you can see now that the walls, the wall that has the window situated on it, has kind of just snapped, and you can see through the slits. Sooty stood there as bits of boy rain down upon her.
Well,
bits.
at least there's no fire. That's the reason to celebrate. No need for fire.
However, with
I
that
peer
sudden,
into the window.
it's quite the sight. However, with that thunder wave and the subsequent explosion of boy and house, you watch now as from outside the door to another chamber of this treehouse is thrown open, and bursting out of it is one particular boy dressed in green, a shock of bright red hair. He has at his hip a sword, and flanked behind him are 2 other boys, dressed kind of scruffily, but dressed kind of like normal peasant people. They have makeshift weapons with them, but stood behind them, looming in the doorway, is the unmistakable shadow of Bob. And I would like everybody to roll initiative.
Is that Peter Potts? Oh, what? Oh. Oh, that's
Check for a wet spot, then we'll know if he peed his pants.
Where'd my dice go?
It's
No.
the best when you waste your nat ones on stuff like initiative, and
That's the best
it's not
I've
the end
ever
of the
rolled.
world.
For initiative. At least for do.
Oh, where's my... Okay, I need my books now.
What's initiative modified by in 5th edition?
Your dexterity.
Dexterity, yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
It's my yeah. Shit, can I do?
Okay, so that is... Okay, so do we have any initiative scores between 25 and 20?
Yes, Raka.
Raka, what number does Raka have?
25.
25, hot dang. Okay, between
Yeah.
20 and... Oh, 21 for do?
20. Yep.
All
I'm
right.
gonna get the intelligence modifier.
Any between 20 and 15? Nope. All right, 15 and 10.
13!
13.
At last!
Wait, 20 and 15. Due diligence wasn't yours 17? That's what I see. Just to make sure.
Right, he's a war mage. I get to add my intelligence to that. I don't have, but war mage is
of
not
course,
something I got.
yeah.
Right.
Sorry about that. I did miss that.
No worries. So Sooty was at 13. Any between 10 and 5?
8.
And Malene has a 9.
Okay.
Just a little bit better than Flower Boy, who doesn't have a name to her because it's too long to say.
And O'Neill. Okay. All right. So first up is Raka. You see coming out of a doorway about maybe 30 feet in front of you is a gingerhead boy. I say boy in quotes, flanked by 2 boys and Bob.
Well, I pull out my rapier, I leap down, and I charge straight into fight with him.
All right.
With-
Are you headed
with the ginger.
for... All right.
ginger.
So you are headed for Peter Potts. Okay. Roll an attack on Peter Potts.
So, as a Gloomstalker, I have my Dread Ambusher ability, which gives me 10 extra feet of movement. And on my first attack of combat, I get 1 additional attack.
Nice.
So,
That's
my
rad.
attack bonus is +4. I think, where's my attack bonus? No, 7. 7. That is a 12.
A 12. 12 does not hit, unfortunately.
And I can take 1 additional attack.
Yeah, do it.
And that's even worse. That's
Oh, no.
another 12.
Nope.
And my second attack. Oh. That is a 16 plus 7 is 23.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That one will hit.
Well, okay, so that one only does 4 plus D8. I do 9 points of damage.
Nice.
I come charging in, I swipe twice at him, and I go, ha! And then I jab at him for the third attack.
Nice. And you see as you jab at him and get him, he looks up at you and goes, oh, we have a challenger. As he does, you notice something strange about his face. 2 of his teeth are oddly pointy.
He has awfully pointy teeth.
What could that mean?
He is a wolf. Or
All
a
right,
vampire.
Both
Dude,
are
you
possibilities.
are up.
All right, that's it. Magic missile time.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna go. Yeah, we're gonna go magic missile at 2nd level.
Who are you shooting at? Peter Potts?
Yep.
All right, get him.
Let's see.
Get that pothead.
Why did they put a 7 in there? I don't know. So 6 plus 4, 10. 10 points of force damage.
10 points of
the
force?
launcher comes out and goes, pew, 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 pew.
And you watch as it just boom, 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 impacts him right in front of you, Raka. It is now Peter Potts' turn. And he is going to... You watch as he smiles menacingly at you, Raka, and the stab wound you just inflicted on his body heals up. And he is going to claw at you, or attempt to at least. Does a 20 not natural hit?
Yes.
Okay, so he is going to, instead of dealing damage to you, attempt to grapple you. I would like you to make me a strength or athletics or acrobatics roll to get out of that grapple. Give you a chance to get out of it straight away.
Okay. Well, that's only an 11.
11. Okay, so you try to dodge out of the way as he lunges towards you, and you see that the ends of his fingertips have elongated as though he has claws. And he grabs you and has got a firm hold of you. He rears his head back and he's going to attempt to bite you. With a 12 to hit?
No.
Okay, so he is used to perhaps biting humans. He's never perhaps bitten a tabaxi before, so he kind of just misses your neck. Just kind of...
I'm just start wriggling around like a cat that doesn't want to be held, just like twisting around.
Oh, cats
He
don't
can't
want
get
me
his
up.
message. Yep. So he lets out a frustrated growl as he cannot seem to bite you. But that will be his turn, which will bring us to Sooty.
Okay. Well, Sooty, I think at this point, she's done her little boot. How many are surrounding her right now? Because she was kind of in the center of the fray.
There in the room you're in now, there is like nobody left alive. They're all made of paper, so they all died.
Right.
So
Okay.
this fight is happening outside, but it's within distance for you to get to.
Like
Okay,
they were
so-
all the hostages, those children.
Well, you know, collateral damage happens.
Yay. Sooty's going to run outside and straight to due diligence.
Mm-hmm.
And climb inside while casting guidance.
Okay.
All
So-
right.
The
panel's
front panel
open.
of due diligence swings open, ready. Not a word has to be exchanged between the two. Sooty nestles deep within due diligence and casts guidance. Okay. Well,
You've got this, bud.
all right. So, is there anything else you'd like to do with your turn, Sooty?
Probably not. I'm comfy and settled with my safety blanket inside of due diligence.
All right.
And the
Okay.
restocked vending machine.
Just as a fun little thing, seeing that before anything else happens, Walden just sends a little message to both of them and says, "You know, I will write a poem about this little thing of yours because you two look awesome."
All right. Now it's the turn of Lost Boy 1, who has a hat. So let's just put a little hat on that, just so I know.
Hat
Just to
boy.
differentiate the two. So this is Hat Boy. And Hat Boy is going to move towards you lot, the group. Who would be up front? I guess Do, right? Because Do was there in the middle calling him out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's gonna come up to you and it's going to try and claw at you. As this boy approaches, you also notice he is deathly pale. And as he rears back to attack, you can see also he has elongated canine teeth. He's got the sharp fingers. It's me. Come on, there had to be vampires at some point.
Of course.
That is a 23 to hit.
Yes, that will hit even with the mage armor. Surprisingly.
But he is going to just claw you because he's confused. I don't think you could bite a Warforged and drink their blood.
That would be rough.
That oil.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. That is 7 points of slashing damage on the first attack, and he's gonna try and hit you again because they do have 2 attacks. That one's a 24 to hit this time.
That will also hit, despite mage armor, surprisingly. Yes.
And that one is 6 slashing damage. Okay. And so as this thing, as this hatted boy comes out and slashes at you twice, your attention is drawn to the back of the doorway where Bob's shadow loomed. And you see now as he steps forward and Bob's uniform is battered. There's a deep red stain around the neck. He looks pale. He has dark circles under his eyes. And he doesn't seem to recognize you as friends. And he's going to...
Could you... did we describe Bob as a shadow or...
No, he was just in the doorway, so
okay.
he was just shadowed because he was in the doorway. And he steps forward, and he says in a very low voice, "I'm hungry," and he's going to move towards. I'm just going to roll a dice, see who he moves towards, because you're all kind of in the same place. He moves towards Deroniel, and he's going to attempt to hit you.
The one guy he's never met. Okay, makes sense.
The one guy he's never met.
Well, there's
Bob,
another...
we have donuts back at the secret hideout.
That's going to be a 13 to hit.
Nope.
And the next one is a 17 to hit.
Hold on, let me... I don't think that hits either, actually. No, it does hit.
Oh, it does hit. Okay.
16 is my SC.
You will take 7 points of slashing damage as a big giant hand comes down. Hill giant. I'm stuck in his voice. Comes down and just hits you across the face.
I just imagine him as Henry from that game. I'm quite hungry.
Okay, and it's the turn of the second lost boy, who is going to advance forward at Maylene. He's going to try and hit Maylene. Oh my god, roll higher than a 4. Does 10 hit you? Because that's the highest I rolled. Okay, well, Maylene doesn't get hit. But it is your turn.
Excellent.
You're both high enough to hit dude, so...
I hit somebody. So you have a boy right in front of you that tried to hit you.
Boys shouldn't hit girls. That's not very nice. But Malene's going to do what she does best when it comes to dealing with the Bob variety of folks. She's going to cast Crown of Madness on Bob.
Okay, so that is a wisdom save, right?
It is a wisdom save, and I know he has the lowest wisdom out of everyone in the world, so...
He sure does. That's in the minuses.
Yeah, that's a thing. So she's going to cast Crown of Madness, and as this crown of jagged stones appear over Bob's head. She goes, Bob, I'm your friend. You should attack the man trying to hurt me.
All right. So he does that on his turn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me just spell the little crown of madness. All right. Okay. So is there anything else you want to do?
Nope.
Okay. This will bring us to Deronial. You have a huge vampiric hill giant in front of you that has just hit you across the head.
Don't hurt him!
But he does have this weird sort of crown floating around his head right now, and Maylene did gesture at him and speak in a spooky voice.
Well, seeing as you boys want to play at being wolves, maybe I should show you how it's done. And I'm going to wild shape into a direwolf.
Nice.
Twilight fanfic's coming true.
That is quite majestic. Definitely something to scribble about. Beautiful creatures,
Where's the
direwolves.
fairy fire? We need to make them sparkle.
Who's got fairy fire? Let's do this. Okay, so is there anything else you would like to do, Deroniel?
It's a bonus action since I'm Moon Circle Druid, so I can move and attack. I guess I'll run past Bob and try to go for pizza, not pan.
Okay. All right, let's roll that attack.
Yeah, I'm just going to see what the direwolf stats are. Is there a friendly...
Yeah, I mean...
within 5 feet of him, because then I get advantage on the attack.
Raka is
I'm
currently being
technically
grappled,
there.
so yeah. I'll allow it.
Cool, then it's +5 to hit.
Ooh.
With advantage. Come on. 17.
17 hits.
Yes.
Roll that
damage.
damage.
6 plus 3. Oh shit! How do I roll two d6s?
Right click on the D6. We pick it up first, and then right click, and it'll give you 2 of them, and then you. Can
Oh my
just
god,
toss
that's amazing. 12 points of damage.
Nice. Okay.
Oh, it also must succeed in a DC 13 strength saving throw or go prone.
Nice. Okay, let's see. DC 13?
Yeah.
That was an 11. So, Raka, you feel yourself being able to slip out of Peter Potts' grip as this huge wolf has bounded up and just grabbed Peter Potts by the back of his neck and pulled him off you and thrown him to the ground.
Woof.
Oh, you're muted.
I give a thumbs up to Wolf.
Nice.
No, that's just me.
Okay. All right. So is that everything for your turn, O'Neill?
Yeah, that was my movement and my action, and I did my bonus action, so I think I'm done, yeah.
Okie dokie,
think
back
I'm
up to
allowed
the
to
top of the
do
round. We have Raka.
So is he prone?
Yes.
I know.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
I totally forgot about Valdian. I'm so sorry.
No problem. It happens. And no problem, just to notify. So what Waldian would like to do is get away as much as possible from all the action, because I think he's by far the most fragile person in there.
Mm-hmm.
And with that happening, as he sees that everyone is concentrated well on Peter Potts and he's well down, he will look at the other Hat Boy and he will cast Witch Bolt at level 2 at him.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, let me see about the casting. Come on, dice. Be by my side. Don't make me... Yeah, does a 14 hit?
14 does not hit, unfortunately.
Yep, that's a level 2 spent. He just points a piece of wood after writing down his notebook and tries to hit the boy, but just narrowly. The arc sparks right by and hits a wall, and he is quite disappointed at that. And yeah, considering he did his movement and not much else to do, he will just by this time see what happens on the battlefield.
All right, so that does now bring us to Raka.
Okay, so he's prone?
Yes, Peter Potts is prone.
Do I get advantage, or is that?
Yes, you would. Yeah, if you're melee attacking him, you get advantage to hit.
Okay. Okay, so I point at him with my bonus action, and I utter a few words, and I cast Hunter's Mark on him.
Mm-hmm.
And I am going to come in with my saber and try to slash at him.
Nice.
+7. Oh, a natural 20.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Well done.
Where does my D8 go? Oh, there it is. Roll it twice.
Mm-hmm.
That. Ooh. +4. So it's 14 plus 4. That's 18 plus another D6 for Hunter's Mark. That's 2.
So 20 altogether.
18, 9. Yeah. That's
nice.
Okay, so 20 for my first attack. And then I'm going to use my second attack.
Do it.
Advantage. Oh, that would be... That's only a 17.
17 hits.
Okay. Can I roll 2 dice at the same time? Oh.
I just
5,
asked the same thing earlier.
10.
10 points
So
of
10
damage.
total.
10 total. Nice. Okay. Wow, that's 30 points of damage in one turn. Yikes.
So as soon as I see him on the ground, I leap up into the air and just like stab down on him with my blade, and then I just bring it around, and with a sweeping strike, I just slash at him once again.
He is looking, some would say he looks quite bloodied at present after this assault upon his person. You are up.
I look at the what I'm assuming is a lost boy in front of me, and you are under arrest by the TPD. Surrender now. And then I cast Shocking Grasp on him.
Nice. Okay. 15 hits.
2d8 for 11 points of lightning damage.
Okay, and he can't take reactions now, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so you reach out, you deploy the taser.
Yep. And then I move away about 20 feet because I'm trying to protect Suti.
Okay, so Suti, you watch this sight through the hole in Dew. You watch this boy get zapped and then zoom, zooms backwards. Okay, so that will bring us to Peter Potts. Once more, some of the wounds you inflicted Raka heal, but he gets up and he appears to be unhinged. He doesn't seem to be reacting painfully to these wounds you've inflicted upon him. If anything, he's like laughing more, as if it's just a game to him. And he is going to attack you. He's going to claw at you. Not with a 10, he's not. And he's going to try again. Not with a 10, he's not. That was 2 6s in a row. That is his turn. He's stood up. He's no longer prone. Cool. Sooty, you're up.
All right. I think Sooty's going to peek out and... Is there anyone behind, like, Due Diligence and I?
Nah, I imagine.
Directly
me,
or
sorry,
directly
Due
behind?
Diligence and me.
I
Okay.
think Waldian would be as far behind as possible, so possibly behind you guys.
But not like next to them, though. Like a little bit back.
Yeah, I mean, if that matters, yeah. Probably a bit back.
Because if I were to do something like... Wait, and Peter Pan's in the air?
No, he's stood up. He's no longer prone.
Okay. Well then, I am going to use Entangle on Peter. Like, open up the back entrance of due diligence. That sounds really weird to say. Like, yeah. And then just like... Ooh.
Okay, so that is a dexterity saving throw, right?
Yes.
So basically,
strength check, sorry.
Robot.
Oh, strength.
Strength savings throw, sorry.
Well, that's a 13.
That, like, I think, yeah, my DC's a 14. So, that means that you are now restrained by the entangling plants. And, yeah.
All right, sweet. He's restrained.
Mm-hmm.
The hell does restrain do? I have to look that up every time. I'll look that up in a second. Is there anything else you would like to do with your turn, Sooty?
No, I think that's the good right there. It also becomes difficult terrain 20 feet around.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Restrained. Okay.
So I need to make a strength save too, don't I?
We can say Sooty angled the spell, so you were fine. You know, Sooty knows what she's doing. She's an expert. She's not going to trap her party mates. She certainly wouldn't do something like throw a fireball at everybody.
I don't know who would do that.
Yeah, I'm just looking now. They can't move. Attack rolls against them have advantage.
With disadvantage.
Yep. Cool. Okay, so that sucks for Peter, who is dexterity based. So that will bring us to Lost Boy 1, who got tased. Dew has backed away from him. He think he's gonna go try back up Peter because Peter has called out that he can't move. So he's gonna run up to you, Raka, and try to hit you. One was a 3.
Cool.
So 3, that's 7 total. Not 7, 9, sorry, to hit. The other was a natural 20 to hit you.
Oh dear.
So let me just roll.
Not so full.
2, 3, and 4. Let's go. Oops. You are lucky, because my dice hate me today. 4, 5, 8. You take 11 slashing damage on this critical. As this hatted young lad comes up and swipes at you twice with his vampire claws. It is Bob's turn. He is Crown of Madness-ed. He is going to attack the one that was attacking Maylene, so the non-hatted Lost Boy.
My sweet Bob always does what I say.
Bob's
like coming through because that was a 19 and a 20 on those dice. So both hit. So
and one's a crit, Bob is going in.
Bob is going in.
Hashtag Bob is going in.
Bob is going in. Hell yeah.
What's a member of TPD? Always a member of TPD.
Even
Still Crown of Madness wears off.
I mean, that's how he started his job with the TPD.
Yeah, that's how I got him to join them originally. I'm Crown of Madness him just long enough. Yeah. Nice. I held him in a Crown of Madness to kill our first villain.
Another story I would like to hear from you sometime.
He just did 14 damage on that second hit. He is single-handedly bloodied this lost boy.
Good.
Go Bob. Does he get a save at the end of his turns, or is it just until he's
At the
hit?
end of all of his turns, he gets a save.
All right. Let's see if he's smart enough to. He's not. if it's below 10. All right.
Does he roll
which will
up
bring-
like 3 disadvantages or something?
He has a minus modifier to his wisdom.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
gonna be working in our favor, I guess, this time.
Okay, so it is the turn of the lost boy that did just hit Bob. That just got hit by Bob, and he's going to be confused.
Maline's making faces at him like,
Is that enough to taunt him? I think so. He's going to try and hit you again, Maylene. Does a 15 hit?
It does hit.
And the other is a 12 to hit.
That does not hit. But the first
Okay,
one
so it
does.
hits you with 1. You take 8 points of slashing damage.
Excellent. And when he does that, Maline says an infernal, like, I wonder if vampires like fire. And she casts Hellish Rebuke for 18. He must roll a dexterity saving throw to take full damage or half damage.
Okay, a 14.
That is a failure. He takes a full 18 fire damage.
Okay, so his flesh just singes, and you can see it's actually like burnt away at points, like bone shows through. He is not looking good, but he's still standing. It is now your turn proper.
Well, for her action, she's going to hold on to Crown of Madness. And we'll say as a bonus action, she'll take her only weapon she has in this game, and she's going to try and stab the vampire.
Oh, do it.
Let's see. And I don't know. No, it's just a 10.
No, it doesn't hit, unfortunately.
There's not enough flesh to stab, but she does withhold her Crown of Madness, and she goes, we have to defeat all of these evil vampires, Bob, so we can save you.
And you get okay, I'll kill them all back at you. But there's
My
no
sweet
sort of emotion in it. It's very
Crown
Blank.
of Madness.
very Crown of Madness, yeah.
Yeah, melodramatic. Sad.
All right, Duroniel, you are up.
What's Peter Not Pan doing right now?
He is currently struggling against vines that have sprung up out of the ground and have him completely trapped. He can't move.
Delicious. It's like it's just served up for me.
It's
I'm
dinner.
gonna attack him.
Yeah. Get him. You have advantage.
I do.
Get him.
Delicious.
Oh no.
Oh, that is terrible.
Oh boy.
I slip on a vine.
You get a paw caught in the vine, it just throws you off
Yeah.
a bit. Anything else you want to do?
I don't think I can do anything else. I don't think I can do any
Okey
bonus
doke.
stuff.
All right. Valdian, you're up.
First he calls out to the ones beside Peter Potts. Hey, Raka, Geroniel, are you guys having trouble wounding this thing? That's the way I kind of saw it. Well, no, on my watch, I guess.
Throwing shade.
No, not shade actually. He's just curious because he did see him getting up and the wounds suddenly close up, and not on my watch though. And on that note, he will cast Chill Touch, and let me enact that. Come on, dice, be nicer this time. Oh, there we go. Yep.
That'll hit.
Yeah, on that, he will take 2d8 damage, 2d8 necrotic damage. So let me find my d8. Is that it? No. My shape today is just... Is that a d8?
Yeah, it looked like.
Yeah. And yeah, that's 10 points of total damage. And here is the cherry on top. He cannot regain hit points until start of my next turn. So,
Hey.
Raka, please feel free to slash away.
Nice.
I'll left it all open for you.
Okie dokie. So, Raka, you are up. This Peter Potts is frozen in place. He's easier to hit. He can't regain his hit points. He's a meal.
So he's restrained, so I have advantage against him.
Mm-hmm.
He's doubly
Okay.
restrained. Everything is just holding him up. Poor guy.
So I see him standing there with all these vines grappled him. I just take my sword over top of my shield, and he's coming just to strike straight through his eye. But I missed terribly on my first attack. I was too eager with such a tempting target. My second attack is a 16.
That will hit.
That will hit. So let me put it. So he takes 10 points of damage.
10. Oh, that's a very valid point there by chat. You didn't roll with advantage there on your first attack.
Oh, didn't I? I thought I did.
Nope.
Oh no, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, you just did a straight roll. I will let you roll
9
again.
plus 2, that's 15.
15 hits.
Hell yeah, chat, coming in clutch.
7
MVPs.
plus... And that's another
Oh,
11.
there we go.
Oof. Oof. He is not looking good. He is looking really, really rough. Few more hits and he might well be dead. Do, you're up.
Well, he's restrained,
Mhm.
and he seems to be surrounded by flammable material.
He sure does.
So we're going to cast Create Bonfire as to not damage Raka or Derniel. And given that he's restrained, he has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws.
I mean, Do is skilled enough a wizard that if you did want a fireball, you could put it like behind him so it doesn't hit Raka and Daroniel.
This is true.
I mean, just putting out. I mean, it's been a while since we've had a fireball. Is all I'm saying.
Yes.
I mean,
yes,
I currently do have fur, so I appreciate it.
It'll be fine. You can bounce
if
back.
I
You're a
can-
druid. I have Spare of the Dying.
If I can if I can clear it so that he's just on the edge and it won't get the others, then yes, I will cast Fireball. So the dex save, please. DC.
He has
15.
disadvantage for that because he's restrained.
Yep.
Oh, that's really bad for him. That's 5.
Oh, well, this is going to be 86.
Oh God.
7, 8.
Oh boy.
Oh, I rolled poorly though. But it is 20 fire damage.
Okay.
And
The
you know how much
moment-
vampires love fire.
Yeah.
The moment the flame appears in Due Diligence stand, like Valdian just flinches back. He knows what's about to happen and just covers his eyes in fear because fire's not his thing.
Do you
The heat blast back comes.
You channel the fury of what they did to that gnome into that fireball. You put every negative thought, every sad emotion you felt about the plight of that poor gnome into that fireball. You take your time, you spot an opening, you launch it, making sure not to hit your party members, as you remembered last time Maylene not being very happy with you when you did set her on fire. And you launch, and you take a second as the flames erupt and engulf Peter Potts. As the flames die down, you see him stood there, black, covered in ash, before a breeze blows through the clearing and he crumbles onto the ground,
Fire out?
destroyed.
Tell me he looks at does he look at Bob and say, "I don't feel so good, Mr. Bob"?
I don't want to go.
And no, it is not too soon, so...
As this happens, the lost boys in the clearing and lost Bob, their eyes milk over white and they collapse to the ground. You're
All of
muted.
them? Just
All of them.
all of them collapse?
Mm-hmm.
What
Even
about Bob?
Bob collapsed too.
Moline stabs the one that was in front of her like over and over and over again before like
Just kill him.
right, just like over and over and over and over. And then she goes
I
and like
have
throws
avenged
herself on Bob's arm like, Bob! Pulls out his little like fishes in her shirt. She's like, hold on a second. Pulls out his little badge. She like pins it to the remainder of his like uniform and is like, Constable Bob.
Aren't we supposed to chop off their heads or something?
Not Bob's.
What?
We take Bob back with us. Everyone else, sure.
Okay.
Bob needs to be put into a giant Hawaiian shirt promptly.
No, we can save Bob. We can do this.
We can somebody at the TPD can surely save Bob, but I have avenged the gnomes. If we need stakes, I can take a 10-foot pole and snap it in 2 or 3.
I am kind of hungry. A steak would do nice.
No, would AKE, not
barbecue.
EAK.
All of the flames, a nice barbecue.
So
I can barbecue for you.
as this is happening, as you're breaking up a 10-foot pole to make these steaks. Raka, you're talking about making a barbecue, and you set about finishing off the remaining lost boys. Sooty and Maylene, you are huddled over Bob, weeping as his form is lifeless. He's not breathing. He's cold.
Can we give him blood, maybe?
Well, roll me medicine checks.
Moline's probably
Geronial
not
wanders
good at
over
that.
and begins speaking, forgetting that he is a wolf. So it comes out as, and then he goes, and then
No
he
head scritches right
turns back
now.
into himself. He
We've got to fix
returns
him.
to his normal form. I might be able to help with that.
Well, I don't
Okay,
know what
right.
I'm doing.
And unfortunately, Maylene, you don't know what's wrong with Bob. Daronil, roll me a medicine check. What did you get, Sooty?
I got a 15.
15. Okay.
While they're
23.
doing that, I'm going to go inside of the room that they came out of and start rummaging around, seeing if there's anything in there.
Okay. So, with a 23, Daronil, you know that Bob is suffering from the after effects of the curse of vampirism. His sire has been killed, and his body has kind of just shut down. He needs some sort of magical medical intervention, like a greater restoration spell or something that would be available at the TPD headquarters. He can be saved, you know this.
We
You're
need
muted,
to heal
Fabian.
him. We need to get him to a priest, a cleric, or a better druid than I.
Moline's gonna just like jump over him and just like give him a big ol' hug, like, you're a genius! You're a genius, flower boy!
Meanwhile,
Right.
Raka, roll me an investigation check.
Yep. Duraniel will kind of go,
8. So you rummage around, you're looking for anything that could give away why this was happening. You don't find any sort of incriminating letters. But what you do find is tucked under what you can only assume is Peter Potts' bed, because it's the fanciest one there, is a coin, a golden coin that has a red apple on one side and like a white skull on the other.
I pick it up, bite it, see if it's real gold, and stick it in my
It's
pocket.
solid gold. And as you make your way back out to the clearing, as Deroniel conveys that Bob can be saved, and Do finishes up cleaning up the mess of the remaining Lost Boys, that is where we'll end our session for tonight.
We will save Bob. We will get Bob back.
Bob
Our
must be
boy.
saved.
If need be, I will. If need be, we will put him in the rowboat and pull him there.
I'm kind of disturbed that nobody checked on the other children.
We don't care.
They could have been cursed as well.
I mean,
Well,
Melee
that's
just straight up
it.
killed one.
Oh, I thought we staked. I
Happened
thought we
a
staked.
bunch.
Yeah,
I
they
thought we staked.
Raka and Do went and staked them all, so even after they were
Yeah, we went through and killed all of those boys. Mercilessly.
They are
and
certainly dead now.
Vampires.
well,
We don't
that-
care.
Patch up his robe and use it to make a 10-foot pole. Snapped it into pieces and stake
They're
them.
not vampires anymore. They're not alive
The children
anymore.
were certainly
Ain't
cold.
shit no more, are
So-
they? Ain't shit no more.
And paper people don't matter.
Nope. Right. So, that is it for us for Once Upon a Time once again this week. But before we do say goodnight, and is there low fantasy gaming after this tonight? Kat?
Yep.
Yep. So
Yes.
before we head over and take you over to the next show, we'll just go around everybody. We'll find out if they enjoyed themselves and where we can find them on the internet. So back with our guests, Orbaxon. Hello. Hi. We didn't really give you a proper intro, but did you enjoy yourself? And feel free to outro yourself right now.
Okay, well, I don't really have much of a Twitter persona, but if you want to bother me on Twitter, you can. I think a better bet would be to try and speak to me on the Encounter RP Discord. I'm on Discord all day, every day, so that's a safer bet.
Cool.
I'm a pseudo-professional voice actor. I've done voice work, but I'm no Matt Mercer. I also do game design and such. Studied it for a few years, and I'm freelancing at the moment. So that's what I do. I've been playing D&D for a while, but not 5th edition. This is the first time I dipped my toe into a proper game.
Oh, nice. Well,
Second time actually. I was in a friend's local game as well. So
well, thank you very much for playing tonight. Next up, we have Other Tim. Did you have fun tonight? And where can we find you on the internet?
I had much fun. I played another game last year with the ball game. I can't remember what it was called.
Mhm.
As far as we can find me, I'm just a figment of imagination. So, find me in whatever recesses of your dark mind that's where I dwell.
Nice. Oh, thank you very much for playing with us tonight. And we
Looking forward
have
to going to sleep now.
yeah, great. Can't wait.
I'll just be creeping along in all the shadows of your mind.
Cool. Nice.
No pressure. No fears.
Quantum Witcher. Is your mic working? Do we have you?
Hello, am I back to the realm of sound?
Yeah, we
There
got
we
you.
Finally.
Yes.
Oh, sorry about that. I laughed so hard, I ripped the mic out of my computer for a second, and then it got screwed up. So sorry about that. But yeah, hello there. I'm Quantum Witcher, and you can find me as such on the internet. I don't do much except for playing Call of Cthulhu at twitch.tv/Winged Horizon every 2 Wednesday evenings. Afternoons, actually, because American time, it always confuses me. Other than that, just another moment of a little shout out. To the right of me on the screen, you will see a very dear, very beautiful D&D player called Madam Gandalf. And I really would like to thank her again for actually getting me into this stuff, and it was just a great thing to finally get to play with the person that actually inspired me to play D&D.
Oh,
All the shout-outs, all the love to her, and everyone else, because everyone was brilliant. It was a brilliant time, and thank you so much, guys, for having me here.
My
That's
cold
it,
black
thank you.
heart feels so many things right now.
I know. I swear mine moved a little bit.
Like, did you feel the beat? Almost like a beat in there.
Aw,
Yeah,
you
right?
guys are sweet.
Thank you very much
Heart.
for playing with us tonight, somewhere apparently. But let's go back to our regular cast. NPC Bree, did you have fun tonight? And where can we find you?
Gosh, it was an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much once again, Susanna, for an awesome game. Super fun. Thank you to our guests for joining us. I actually do watch Quantum Witcher on the Winged Horizon game, so it was really fun to be able to play with him. So that was really cool. I'm NPC Bree. You can find me there on Twitter. I also play in 5 games a week, starting next month, 7 games a week here on the Greyhawk channel, on Soulbear RPG, on Scraticus Academy, and on Pro Restarters channel. So if you want to keep track of all 7 games, yeah, just follow me on Twitter, because I'm not going to go down that road right now.
Dang. Busy lady.
Yeah, I'm very busy. My goal is by the end of 2019 to be playing in 10 to 20 games. My goal is 10 to 20. We'll see. We'll see what I can do.
That's the goal.
All right. And Madam Gandalf, did you have fun tonight? And where can we find you on the internet?
I always have fun doing the ridiculous little sooty and getting to play all the ridiculously lovely like fairy tales. I'm a little ashamed of myself that I didn't think of the pothead thing until like way later. Like, and I really wish that I had remembered that earlier. But as well, like I'm just so grateful that we get to see so many like beautiful faces. Like these are usernames that we see in chat, but it is really nice to see your faces as well. So Quantum, the feeling is mutual. The feeling is so mutual. I'll just put
Much
that.
appreciated.
But yeah, my name is Madam Gandalf. I do the variety thing here on Twitch, singing D&D, cooking, singing in the shower, face painting, you name it. We probably do it at some point in my tavern. So come on by and have a drink on me.
Before we continue, I have to ask: Do you sing in the shower on stream? Is that a thing? Because I want to know the schedule for shower singing. I want to know, because that sounds 10 out of 10 hilarious.
It is.
It's the funniest.
I
That
can
sounds like the funniest shit. 10 out of 10. I want to.
I bring
that.
props. It's a great time.
I need this in my life. I don't have enough of this in my life, apparently.
All right. And Cleric of Cod, did you have fun tonight? And where can we find you on the internet?
Oh, I had a blast, as I always have a blast with you, Susie, and with our players. You guys, it's always so much fun. Thursdays are, I always look forward to this. Just being able to just laugh and let loose and have fun and not worry about it. And it's great. Al, I'm so glad you were able to join us. Quantum Witcher, nice to meet you. Other Tim, nice to meet you. I look forward to playing with you guys again someday, because bringing it. That was awesome. That was awesome. Always happy to see Bree and have Madame Gandalf and Sooty Due Diligence's partner in crime. I don't know, but
Partner in crime.
Solving.
yeah,
Partner in crime solving. I like that.
Yes, yes. But I am at Cleric of Court on the Twitters. I play D&D and Warhammer 40K actually here on Mondays on Encounter Roleplay at 2 p.m. Eastern. And I will be here in another 10 minutes or so, back playing some low fantasy gaming as we wrap up our three session arc. I'm really looking forward to that. You can find me on Tuesday nights on Madbird streams in an all evil camp playing my little sorceress who just made a deal with a archdemon lord. She's a lot of fun. She likes to throw fireballs too. And on Sundays I play my little warlock, Trixie, whose patron happens to be a fellow by the name of Puck. And she's currently doing Through an Apocalyptic Landscape, of all things. but that's on the Arcana Code, where you can find me on Sundays, or you can just check the pinned tweet on my page at Cleric of Cord. God, love the ab workout. Always love the ab workout on Thursdays. And thank you, everybody, for coming by and watching.
All right. And as for me, I would just like to thank the wonderful cast and crew for joining me tonight in my shenanigans. I thank you all so much for just putting up with the nonsense that I throw before you every week and taking it so well and just running with it. Couldn't do it without you all. So thank you very much, regular cast and guests, whoever you are, every week. Love you all dearly. But I am Susanna Grace, otherwise known as Susie. I am a variety streamer who streams video games, artwork, and tabletop RPGs. You can find me Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on my own channel where we play D&D, The Witcher TRPG, a whole bunch of video games. I've been playing a lot of Apex Legends recently, but I am going to be streaming Sekiro soon, so tune in for that. Thursdays and Fridays, you can find me here, obviously streaming the video game today, and on Fridays I am a player in Achtung Cthulhu, which is Modiphius's 2D20 version of Achtung Cthulhu. And on Sundays you can find me on WebDM, where I play in a Cypher System game where I'm a vampire in the 80s, and we are actually back this week after our mid-season break, so be sure to tune in. After I went feral last time and tried to eat one of my fellow coven members, so that happened. Yeah, so it's sure to be fun. Tune in for that on Sunday. That's going to be good. But much like Kat, I have a pinned tweet where you can find out where I am, what I'm doing, what system I'm playing, and what channel that is on any given day. But yeah, so thank you all for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, hey, we love you, but please tune in on Twitch too. And we will see you all next week for the next episode of Once Upon a Time. Bye, everybody.